Hey guys, Martin from Gonk Gang here. Today I wanted to bring you a Thrawn 4 red deck. This is a leader in colour combo that I've always wanted to run ever since he released, because this offers so much burn and potential that I've seen in a colour combo, but it's not quite there. It's missing a few things here and there. But I think it's in a pretty good state now ever since I saw that video by Main Deck, which if you haven't seen that video and you are interested in playing a Thrawn Red, I recommend checking his out. It's a 28 health force deck and it's very unique and I really appreciated that, and I enjoyed playing it myself, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So this is closer to what I was looking for here. But I have borrowed the Owen Lars and Ray combo from that idea, so shout out to him. So the idea with Thrawn Red over the other colours is sort of to take advantage of things like Droid Missile Platform, Ruthless Raider, and the best card in the whole deck being Count Dooku, to really try and get the most out of when defeated that do damage to base or damage to units. So I figured as well, why not try it out now in set 5? Unfortunately, set 5 didn't give it too much. Like I say, I've got Owen Lars in here, I've got Night Sister Warrior, I've got Karis, I've got Rey, and I got Anakin. These are all the new cards from set 5. But you may have noticed that 3 of them don't actually do anything specific to Thrawn, really. Those being Karis, because you need a Force token to do her when defeated. Rey, she doesn't have her when defeated, and you're not going to play her out for her cost. And Anakin doesn't have a when defeated, but these are just strong cards in these colours. And Rey in particular is kind of unique in Thrawn in that you can defeat Owen Lars or Night Sister Warrior and have a really good chance of drawing her. Rey is when you draw her in any stage that isn't just the start of a turn. You get to do 2 damage to an enemy unit and 2 damage to a enemy base, which can be game changing. It's basically a Ruthless Raider effect, but you don't have to lose the unit and it's free. And it's very easy to get it from Owen Lars because you can, when Owen Lars dies, search top 5 for her. You don't find her, you normally find Dooku or Anakin, which is a great draw. Even if you don't, you've still got Karis and Night Sister Warrior you can draw, which is great. And then you get to do his effect again to try and find it again. And honestly, sometimes you can even find it off of one Owen Lars defeat, and then you can either choose to not do it again and save your when defeat effect, second when defeat effect with Thrawn for someone else, or you could just go, why not? I'll when defeat Owen Lars again anyway and see if I get a second Rey. And honestly, if you get 2 Reys, it can be just game winning right there. But the main idea with Rey, once you've got her in hand and you've done her effect, is you either resource her or you force throw her. Force throw is the premium one you want to do because that's 5 damage plus you're triggering Anakin's heroism side of his effect. But resourcing her is also fine. So other than that, the classic Thrawn stuff is here. Obviously 3 of Krennic, 3 of Chimera, 3 of No Glory. If you know anything about the Thrawn archetype, then you know how good these cards are in here. Director Krennic lets you get when defeated out for 1 less. So, I mean, that's like the whole deck. It can make your 6 drops be 5 drop plays, and honestly that is probably the biggest play you could make with Krennic. But even if you don't, Krennic can allow you to play him on turn 1 with Owen Lars on the same turn. So your turn 1 is 2 units, which is really nice. And then of course on the next turn he's strong again because you can play out 2 2-drops, and honestly I think that's what you want to try and aim for. If you can, try and mulligan for Krennic for turn 1, just because he opens up so many possibilities. And if they have a way to remove him on turn 1 or 2 because he has initiative, then it's not the end of the world really. Karis is in here. I know you don't get to use the when defeated because of no force, but because she has when defeated, you can play her for 1 less with Krennic, which is really nice, and she's a force unit, which means you can play her into force throw on turn 2, or you can find her through Owen Lars when defeat. And that's sort of the main idea of her. Anyway, plus 2/4 is just an awkward stat line for most decks to get through. Shuttle ST, you probably want to keep the shield on itself, or move the shield to something like Dooku, or Anakin, or Leader Thrawn later on in the game, because mostly you don't want to put the shields on things that you don't mind dying. Other than that, I will make special attention to the Dooku card. Dooku is probably the best card in the whole deck. His exploit 2 means that you can get 2 when defeateds off, which is lovely, and then you can choose from that which one you want to do twice, of course, and then you get to deal the damage of their power to enemy units, which is insane. And honestly, this is the game-changing card. I've won so many games just off a single Dooku play. Honestly, this is the best card in the whole deck. And I think once you learn how to play this deck properly, you will see just how important it is to find Dooku, which is another reason why I like to keep the Owen Lars play in the deck, because you can pretty much guarantee to draw Count Dooku when you need him. And you want to keep him in hand for that perfect moment, but you always have the option to force throw him to do a nice 8 damage, which against a lot of leaders that are in the game right now, and a lot of big health units, 8 damage is a nice breakpoint. It can kill Cad Bane, it can kill any 7 health leader, obviously, which no other unit that you can force throw yourself will do. But most of the time you want to force throw the Rey, because you want to trigger the Anakin heroism side of his card. Now I will say, this deck is still missing something. I feel like it's not quite winning like a PQ level. It's not quite even getting top 8 at a PQ level. I'm sure if you pilot it well enough and you like practice enough, you can do it, because you know skill is still important. But I think it's definitely a fun deck to bring to a store showdown or something, because I think you can win it with this, as long as you know the other decks that people are running in the store showdown aren't all just the top meta decks and they are trying their hardest, which does happen, I suppose. Brief look at the sideboard. You've got Fang Fighter for all the pilot decks that are running around. That's really good into Poe Dameron, into Vader, into Boba Davort, into Luke Davort. I know it doesn't kill Luke specifically, but it does kill Chewbacca Pilot and stuff that they do run in those decks. Bombing Run, same reason that all the other decks run Bombing Run. This is a Vader Yellow killer, and it also kills quite a lot of other decks that run a lot of 3 health or less units. And also Bombing Run can allow you to defeat multiple of your own units to get when defeated effect out if you need to. Of course, sometimes you don't need to, and it can be a bit of an awkward card, so be careful how you use this card. Honestly, it can be pretty good to deal with the space arena most of the time because you're a bit weak in space, and it's nice if you wipe this board and kill your own Onyx Squadron Brute to heal 4 from your base. It can be just a game winner. Planetary Bombardment and Devastator, both of these go hand in hand. This is against hard control. Just getting over the edge of just finishing them off when they've started to get into their Healy phase and you don't have many units on board. These, honestly, I could see an argument to put them in the main deck, and if you wanted to drop the Rey shenanigans, you can, to put Devastator in. Okay. Now I want to talk, before we move on to games, just about the future cards coming up that we've already had revealed. Let's talk about the one that's been revealed for a long while now, and that's Admiral Ozzel. He's a 3/1. When defeated, your opponent discards a card. So this is basically a 3-cost pillage, in a way, when it dies with Thrawn. His body is kind of awful, I guess. He's a 3/1 for 3, which is, you know, that's Death Star Stormtrooper stats, but for 3, which is insane. Which is why you're never going to see this card in any other colour combo with any other leader. But in Thrawn, like I said, it's a cheaper pillage with a 3/1 body. So you can't go wrong with that. I don't think I'd run it myself, just because I don't normally like to run the sort of full discard package. I don't like making sure that my opponent can't play the game as a game plan. I sort of hate that. But yeah, I think there's definitely a version that's going to run that, and maybe even run more card discard, which I really don't hope that becomes the meta version of this. There's enough discard going around in the meta right now, so hopefully that doesn't happen, but it might. The other one that I want to talk about is the one I'm more excited for, and this one was just revealed a couple of days ago. This is Arinda Price. Now, if you don't know, Arinda Price is when defeated, you may defeat a friendly unit. If you do, deal 4 damage to an enemy base. So, yeah, the idea, I guess, is you just use this with Thrawn, defeat 2 friendly units, do 8 to an enemy base, and then you get those units when defeats as well. Obviously, you only get to do them once, but and I think this is going to be so funny to try and get 2 ooms on board and defeat them with Harinder Price to deal 4 to base from the 2 ooms, and then deal Harinder's 8 to base for a nice 12 to base. That will be so fun, and I really want to pull that off. Or maybe just droid missile platforms as well instead of ooms for the indirect instead. It's a little bit less effective because they can put it on units, but yeah, that's going to be a real control killer if they don't really stem the flow there of your units. I think most people are going to play around it and they'll defeat, say, your other units before they defeat Harinder Price. It's probably likely what's going to happen, but you know, it's a pipe dream. I like it, and it's thematic with the book that Thrawn and Harinder are both in, so it's pretty nice. And I hope we get more cards from that book, like Eli Vanto or something. I really want Thrawn Red Burn to be meta viable. I can't wait to see what happens in the next set. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the gameplay, shall we? And let's see if we can't pull off the Ray combo and see what happens. Okay, first game. We're going against a Gar ECL. I'm a little concerned because they normally have quite a big pusher on the 6 resource turn, which is also an important turn for us because we get our Raiders and Chimeras out on that turn. But one nice thing is that they're on ECL, so the burn is quite useful. We've got to go turn 1, turn 2 here, but we also have a Ray in hand, which I don't want. I'm going to try a mulligan. It was greedy, and it did pay off because we managed to find the Krennic into Owen Lars, which is our best start. They also have a Krennic, which sucks. But we get 2 units, so it's not too bad. Now we can play both of these if Krennic lives, or we can just play 1 shuttle. It's not terrible. I think I'm going to resource this shuttle just in case. So I want to either play both of these, or maybe I'll just play droid missile platform. So let's see, we might as well take that, and that's nice. I think we just go for it. We're going to do the 2 to base, and then 2 to their Krennic, and then I am tempted to just kill their Krennic off right away with my Krennic, just to ruin their plan. Not bad. I'm going to throw out Desperate Commando, because like I say, this will be able to throw itself into this Outlaw. We'll go with the extra draw cards. Right now, Force Throw my Ray is now an option, so I think we're going to keep the Ray in hand. Normally I'd resource this straight away. Now we do only have 1 Force unit, which sucks, but we can always play the Karis and then Force Throw from that. Now he's got a lot to think about. Okay. I'm actually just going to jump in. And I'll do that. Well, realistically, I probably shouldn't have double triggered that. Like I say, a little rusty at the game at the moment. I haven't played it too much recently. I think realistically you only trigger it once, make it a 2-2, so you can kill it off with something like this, the Night Sister, and then you can double trigger the Night Sister instead. But I guess this way the Night Sister lives. He said whoops, I don't know what he did. Let's kill that off. Let's go 2 to base. We're just going to throw both of these down, in fact, and we'll keep the rest. We've got a no glory, which is nice to see. But we are getting to the danger zone. We haven't done a lot of damage, and we're getting close to, I suppose, the Vader ECL doesn't hurt us too much at the moment, but obviously he'll come out when I have Thrawn out, which will suck. Now, I want to do the 3 indirect twice rather than draw a card twice. Of course, the line could have potentially been to draw first to see if you get the Ray and then choose if you want to draw again or do the damage again. So I think here I am happy to no glory this. But you know what? I'm just going to keep pumping the damage out instead. And we'll throw down this Night Sister Warrior. I got nothing else to do, so why not? Let's just make them discard, and then I'm going to resource the Ray. Just to sort of stress them out a little bit here. Chimera's nice, but I think I prefer playing the Raider this turn. Let's see what he does. Especially if we get to play Raider and then Chimera next turn. The problem is if I Raider, he's most likely then going to ECL Vader out and kill the Raider. I suppose it's not the end of the world because I'll be able to do the wind defeated twice. Which could potentially even kill the Vader on the ECL. I'm not going to draw twice just in case that happens. Let's see what he's got. I think he's thinking about it. I assume he's got the Vader in hand. I think when you play against this deck, you always just assume they've got the Vader. But like I say, right now, I do not mind if he wants to ECL Vader out. Especially since I just drew a second Raider. He does not have it. Okay, let's throw Thrawn out. Let's go 4 to base. Now it's getting pretty close to victory here. In fact, Chimera plus 1 attack in the base will do it, so let's see what he does. Is this the ECL now? Not the right Vader. And I believe that's GG. There's nothing he can do now, so that's GG. I would like to know what mistake he made. I'd have to go back and rewatch that. But yeah, it was a good game. And that's quite a meta deck as well, so it's good to beat that. We had a Kylo Town. These have gotten extinct almost ever since Worlds. I haven't seen these like at all. This is my first time playing against it since, I don't know, the first few weeks after World. I don't mind this hand. It's not bad. I think I'll happily start with the Night Sister just to draw some cards. And the Droid Missile Platform's always our best turn 2, I think. It puts a lot of pressure. Let's see what he's got then. I think I just ignore his units and go into base. He should be the one killing my units at this point. Probably don't need 2 Felder Dragons. We'll keep 1 though, just in case he decides to put one of his many upgrades on a unit that isn't his leader. Let's see what he's got. Yeah, I don't mind if he does that, because I can just... I suppose he's actually not hittable. I fell the dragon, that's quite nice. He's 1 off, and he still gets the raid too, so it's quite strong, that start. Yep, as I say, this is a big problem. Always draw the ray. Right, let's go for 4. What we're really looking for is to draw a Force Throw or something like that. Because as well as Count Dooku being one of our best cards in the whole deck, he is also really good at Force Throw target. Even if we deploy him now, because we can with the exploit and kill off both of these guys, there's no guarantee that we can kill this. He'll have 1 health, which does, and he will take 6 more. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we can fell the dragon it. I appreciate that. That's really setting back bad. But this is always the problem with the Kylo Town deck. They always have a way back when they deploy that leader, if they get it high enough. Now there is only 2 Felder Dragons in the deck, so I am out of them right now. Hopefully we won't need another one. I hope he doesn't make that same mistake again. A Long Pike is quite good. Still very tempted to just play out the Dooku and blow this guy up, but it would cost me both of my units. I mean, it would also then just put, what, 6 damage straight to base? Honestly? You know what? Why not? Let's just make some mistakes, shall we? Let's do that. Let's deal it indirect, trigger, deal more indirect, draw a card, and we'll pass. Now, presumably he's got some way to deal with a single unit. Yep, Power of the Dark Side is fine. He's got 3 resources, so he could just play it again. What we're going to do is just play this out. Now, we've got Power of the Dark Side ready for when he deploys his Kylo. It's honestly, if he flips it next turn, it's way too early for him to flip, but he might have no other choice. And we'll throw this down. And let's see what he's got. Honestly, resource of force throw, why not? He has to be able to stop the space unit and also deploy on the ground and get a sentinel. Which I don't think there's anything he can possibly do. So he's just going to flip Kylo and just see what he can do for fun, I guess. Let's see. Here we go. What else has he got? Yeah, he's got the 2 from Karis. That's about it, though. He can equip everything, that's pretty cool. You know what, I'll be kind, man, I'll let him attack. Let's see it. Go on, I want to see the big strike. I do love seeing the Kylo deck work. It's so cool. But that's GG. Yeah, I love seeing the Kylo Red deck work. It's something that I've always wanted to properly play. Quite an expensive one to run in real life, though. Also, everyone sort of knows its tricks. Right, Caden Town, a classic. I mean, I don't hate starting with Desperate Commando, and then if he Tarkin Towns it, he just probably kills whatever his turn 1 as well is. Let's mulligan though. Let's see if we get something better. Ooh, that's quite good. I'm gonna resource this. If we start with Krennic, it can't be Tarkin Towned. Trying to think if there's any way to kill Krennic, but it'd probably cost him a lot to do it. Now my plan next turn is to play 2 of these guys rather than play the shuttle. That's why I resourced it. But potentially that's wrong, we'll see. Bazine. Is he going to take the Dooku maybe? Don't know what else. Okay. Well, now we got to get out if they manage to kill the Krennic some way. And there's a good chance, there's a lot of 2-drops in the deck, so there's a good chance we just draw another 2-drop. Just like that. So let's make the most of it now. Let's play a 2-drop out, just so we get the Krennic benefit. Turncoat is fine, or Spacer, sorry, is fine. Exhaust the Krennic, whatever. I'll put it here, because I don't mind if he dies, I get to draw 2. Going to claim. McClunky's quite a good one. I don't mind it if he Tarkin Towns, thank you. So now I can force throw my own guy here, which is quite nice. Let's go 2 to base. I'd rather wait and see what he has. He's got Vizini, what, going to take away the force throw? Or he's just going to take away the droid maybe? Yeah, sure. Got kind of lucky there, we do have a lot of cards we could have drawn into. Let's just make them discard one. There's a good chance we only hit something cheap, but I don't mind so much. Let's see what he's got. A Ruthless Raider, huh? That's a big hit. I'd be tempted to take this out just so he can't do the bouncing again, but okay. They got a Zuckuss. I will no glory that because there's nothing else ready to do this turn. I guess I could force throw them again, but that's it. And let's get rid of the Zuckuss. So this is the problem with the sort of force version of this deck. Normal Thrawn Red burns a lot faster. Not as fast as something like Boba Davort, which is a problem. But this force version is a little bit more control-y, which means it has a few more tricks to do, which I do like. But I've never been a big control player. That's why I kind of like this sort of mishmash version. I don't know. Alright, we're going to play one of the two 6-drops here. Preferably Raider, because I don't want to use Chimera to trigger Karis. We don't have the force to do our ability, so... Always, though, we can no glory whatever they play, and then force throw the Count Dooku to kill the Cad Bane. That is also the more control-y option, rather than being, you know, playing the Raider and developing the board here. Either are fine choices. Looks like he's idle. He didn't draw well, maybe. Got nothing to play this turn, perhaps. But I also had nothing to play the other turn, so... Okay. And he's gone. Alright. I guess we would have won that. He must have had anything to play that turn. Maybe he could have just flipped Cad and tried to play Hot Shot or something. I guess was his only play, maybe. We would have just force thrown and killed him, so... Yep.
Hello there.
We'll finish it off with this one, shall we? I think we just lose this one straight up. I will say, though... Oh, wow, that's pretty awful. I'm going to mulligan that. I will say, though, it's nice that Boba is going to be constantly hitting our units with indirect, so I can sort of happily trigger my own when defeat effects, if I want. Which is quite nice. I think we will start with the Onyx. I want to find as many Onyxes as we can, because the extra healing is going to be so important in this matchup. Looks like I was rewarded a bit here. I draw that, which sucks. But we are going to play Desperate Commando into Owen Lars this turn. Now, as we say, they are way faster than us, so I am happily going to try and kill this TIE Bomber. Plus, that now only has 2 health left, which means if Desperate Commando dies, it just kills the TIE Bomber. This early on, I'm happy to take the 3. And I'll take the 1 extra. That means I have exactly enough to heal if he has a way to kill the Onyx. The Onyx heals for 4. We'll throw this down. Now it does kind of suck that we don't have a force unit right now, but I'm happily going to kill off Owen Lars, I think, with the indirect that Boba's going to hit us with. Just so we can draw into a force unit, so we can make use of force throw here. Also tempted if he throws an attack in with Bomber first to kill off Desperate Commando to kill the droid platform, but he didn't do it. So we're just going to kill the Bomber here first. Even if I don't have a force unit, I'm kind of happy to play droid missile platform into a force throw for 1. It's not the worst. Let's just restore 2. Let's play that, and actually we'll keep the force throw. I can take the gamble and keep the Felder Dragon, assuming he's got something. I think I will, because I think I'm happy to kill Owen Lars now, actually. Sorry, Owen. Just to help us draw something for this turn. We've got a lot of force units, and a lot of them cost 2. Right. We're going for 2 with this. Because I'm assuming he's going to throw the super laser into this. Let's see what he's got. Don't like how he's thinking. He's got something I'm not going to like. There's a good chance he plays something like MC30, something bigger than that. But I know MC30 has kind of fallen out of favour for playing the Dornian gunship instead, which would get around Felder Dragon, which is quite nice. He's got a force choke going. That's yeah, I didn't expect that. One indirect. Well, I can start throwing it over here, I think. Happily. And yeah, I will trigger that. And there we go. Let's trigger that. We'll do 2 damage to the missile platform, 2 damage to his base. Now it's a shame we didn't draw a cheap force unit to play immediately and then force throw the ray. That would be really nice. Let's go 2 here. And this guy's potentially going to die anyway, so we'll throw 1 there. I'm assuming he's going to trade this now. If he doesn't, and he just plays a ship here or something, so they can put Boba on it next turn. Okay. So we have this trick up our sleeve now. We can play Count Dooku into whatever, I guess, 4-drop he's going to play. To do the full 6 damage to whatever he's going to play it. Otherwise we can just fail. Okay. That kind of sucks, but he just plays Boba on that. He kills these 2 guys anyway, so I don't really see a downside to Dookuing. Let's go. Exploit both. And we will do indirect. I wanted to do the indirect after. Whoops, that's my bad. Whatever. We just miss out on 1 or maybe 2 damage, I guess. If he knows what's happening, then he'll just put 2 on the droid missile platform here. He doesn't seem to know. So I'll heal 2, and then I'll blow up that guy. Just take 3 on the base so he doesn't kill the Dooku. Now I'm tempted to just force throw myself to throw the ray, but yeah. But I could also force throw him, he's only got 2 cards in hand. So you know what? Why not? Let's go. A Devastator, wow. Okay, that's a really good hit. I am going to resource Karis here. Let's see what he's got. Once again, we got another force throw to be a scumbag. Get rid of his final card in his hand. It's not the worst idea I've had. I think I'm happy just deploying Thrawn and then playing Anakin to give the Boba -3 and then potentially killing him with Thrawn. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And then once this is done, I think it's time to fully go on the offensive and just take out his base. Time to stop messing around in a way. I'm going to resource I'm actually in a resource rate at this point. He's still one resource ahead, which means he can play another Devastator here, but I don't think that does too much to us. We have answers to that. Yep. He can't kill either of our units here. So it'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do. Okay, first thing, let's force throw his last card away. Yep, that is... I mean, he had the combo in hand, but it's not going to help him now. Then we're just going to throw this out and pass. Tempted to just stop resourcing now, but we'll keep it up. I think we want to stay at 8. But I think this is game over unless he's got a crazy last card. No, he's got nothing. So, I guess I underestimated the deck. No, he's gone. Yeah, I thought this deck was had no game into the higher meta, but apparently, you know what? Yeah, you can still beat this stuff if you draw correctly. That's the one thing about this deck, is it can be quite consistent if you get your draw cards on the field and they die. Owen Lars and the Night Sister Warrior especially are kind of insane in this deck, obviously. It's all about card draw there, which is really nice. Unfortunately, it's only the only thing Thrawn really got this set was the Night Sister Warrior. I don't think the Rey combo is good enough to keep in further sets when they add more when defeated. But I guess maybe when the rotate goes through and we lose Dooku and stuff like that, then potentially could come back to this and try the Rey combo again. Again, thanks to main deck though for giving me the thanks to main deck for coming up with the idea of using Rey in a sort of Thrawn deck with Owen Lars. I don't know why, I just never would have thought of that. I do like it though. Not as consistent as the Yoda pulling off the combo with Rey. But honestly, give this deck a try. You're not going to regret it. It's so much fun, and I cannot wait for it to be a deck that I can actually run and actually attempt to win at a PQ with. For now, it's just missing a few key components. But as I say, next set, Arinda Price, and potentially the Ozzel card as well, can start to fully mold this deck. What I want the direction to be is further into the burn direction rather than into the control and especially the discard direction, but with Ozzel, it's kind of getting close to a discardy deck, which I do not like to play, because, I don't know, I hate when I play against discard decks, so I don't like playing them, you know what I mean? I don't like doing that to my opponents. But, yeah, hopefully, next set, you're going to see another video on this, where I put Arinda Price in, and we're going to try and do that mythical, 8 to base with Arinda Price, and then either 6 indirect into the enemy with 2 gunships defeated, or just 8 damage from Arinda and the 4 damage from 2 Ooms. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to attempt to do. It might be even more inconsistent, but we'll have to see. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment if you want to see any particular leaders in the future. And let us know how you've been doing this set, if you've been playing in any tournaments or anything. I'd love to hear how well you guys have been doing, and especially if you decide to run this deck or any other deck we've made on the channel. I'd love to see what you guys are up to. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.